everybody, welcome to Boomx Beauty Beat. My name is Laura. It's so great to have you guys here. It's I guess the biggest day. It's the biggest day that could be. I am launching my makeup line, Boomx Beauty, and it is something else. Boomx is boomers and Gen Xers smushed together in a word, and I felt we needed a makeup line, product line, that catered to us in a fun and funky way. So Boomx was born. You guys can see I don't have any makeup on today. I'm going to be going from everything, including my skincare, at being Boomx, all the way through. Everything that touches my face, brushes, everything included is all part of the Boomx brand, and I am so blown away to be introducing this to you. So let me just explain how this got started, and as you guys can see, I don't have any makeup on, but I'm sure a quick explanation is needed because, yeah, you don't see makeup lines come out every day by just random people. I'm not a celebrity makeup line, anything like that. I am just a long-time retired makeup artist with a dream. I've always dreamed of having my own line, something that I could curate and cultivate that works for me, that speaks to me, and that I also could give makeup artists, put it in their hands, and they could use for their clients, and even to be able to sell to their clients if they so wish to. I am not looking at being a multi-level marketing. I'm not saying anything about multi-level marketing, but I am looking at doing direct sales to customer, beauty artists, consultants as part of the line. So if that is a drive behind your dream, you definitely will have that opportunity in the very near future to be part of the brand and to be part of marketing this movement. Just so much to tell you, I don't even know where to begin. Today we're going to be getting to shoot this look, and I'm going to be doing 7 looks in 7 days just to unveil the different archetypes and the makeup line in its entirety. I feel like this video would be so long if I talked about all the products in depth all in one video. I'm going to have to spread this out into more than one video to make this cohesive. Maybe I can piece something together when it's all said and done to explain the product out. But I have been feeling so overwhelmed this week, like how am I going to explain all of these products to everybody? Anyway, I'm going to do the best I can with what I have, and I'm going to be starting with the ingenue today, which is, as you guys know, part of the maiden archetype, and that is my dominant archetype, so I thought it would only make sense for me to start with that. And to explain more about that, I will put it in the description box. We've been talking about that for the last few weeks, about how every woman has, you know, dominant, and it could change throughout your life, dominant archetypes within themselves, and finding out what those are can help us to know who we are and to bring forward maybe different archetypes that we want to bring forward, or to further enhance the archetype that we currently are and to really maximize on it. And I think it's super fascinating to use hair, makeup, and clothing and styling to enhance our personalities. To me, that's super cool. You guys can see by my face, I'm 51 years old. I have some of the darkest circles probably you'll come across. I am Italian, and I have also freckles and age spots on top. You guys can see them here. I have absolutely nothing on my face right now, so you guys can see my face in its full glory, and you'll obviously see my after picture. I've got on just a t-shirt and my little hair wrap. My hair's still wet from the shower. I'll show you my t-shirt. It says Tray Fatigue, because I'm tired, excited, just from having to get ready for all of this. And there's just, yeah. Well, let's just roll this out, because talking about it forever is going to just make me more nervous. I will tell you the products are mainly made here with me here in BC in Canada, because I wanted my lab to be really close by so that I could keep an eye on production, I could keep an eye on quality control. If I have any issues, I could actually go knocking on their door and them be there. With everything in our current world, it's difficult with shipping, it's difficult with overseas things. All of that can be very, very tricky. There are a few things from the line that are from China. I'm having you know, a little bit of a list put together so that you guys can, if that's important to you, know what's made in Canada and what's made in other places. But the majority of the line is made right here in my backyard, and I needed to have that in order to feel comfortable with all this, because it's a huge amount of money that you're putting into someone else's hands, and you want to make sure that you've got some say and control if things go awry. And I know the laws well here, and I know the health and, you know, quality control and all of those things that are super important, because the stuff goes on our face, in our bodies. I want to make sure that it's good for us and it's reasonable and it's super clean and it's all of those good things. So having something made in Canada, I really feel like you're in a good place with all of those issues. And another reason that I wanted my own line is because I am so sick and tired of trying on and buying products from every different line and every different thing, every new thing that comes out, and 90% of it I am highly allergic to. I am a highly allergic person as it is to a million different things, but makeup, I don't know how many times I have done looks for you guys, tried it on, and then literally could not get through the video without like water like pouring down my eyes, swelling, waking up in the morning with hives on my eyes. I am so sick of it, but I love what I do. So I thought the only way around this is to make my own and to make sure I am not allergic to it. And I know if I'm not allergic to it, there's a lot of people who are sensitive, who have sensitive skin and sensitive eyes, are going to have better luck with this, I feel, than they are with a lot of products. Like even, you know, great lines like Natasha Denona and things like that, I can't tell you the reactions. Huda Beauty, I mean, the amount of money that I spent and the amount of products that I've tried is ridiculous. So I also want to tell you a couple more things just before I roll forward, now that my mind's starting to wake up. I also want to say another thing of where I feel these makeup lines are going really, really wrong. And that is just, it's straight up customer service. And having your customer, it's like such a trust thing that somebody gives their money to you to buy something, to try something, not knowing if it's going to work for them or not. And their hard-earned money goes into it. I really feel having you purchase something from this line, I really feel customer service to be a very important issue. I want to feel like I'm buying from a line that they stand behind their products. If there's any issues, that's dealt with very quickly, and it's dealt with the customer's feelings in mind. And also teaching the customer how to use the product for themselves. Everybody's face is different. Everybody's different. So what I want to implement, especially in the beginning when you guys are all getting to know the products, is offering you a consultation online when you are trying to buy products, so that you have somebody to talk to help you with the needs that you have, to help you with the color selection, to, you know, work all that through with you, because I want, you know, caring, loyal customers. I don't just want a cash grab. I want something that will be there for the years to come, and it can grow and we can grow together, but you feel a part of it. Your voice is part of it. If you say to me, Laura, you know, we really should put this color in the line, I'm taking notes, and I will definitely be there for you guys and try to implement things that you suggest, so that it's our line, not just my line. And for those, you know, people who later come aboard and become consultants and artists with the line, I want this to be your line as well, and you're able to give input, and that we have something that is a community together. I'm going to be doing, you know, detailed videos on each section of the product, but just to give you like an introduction into the product line, I'm just going to quickly run through the complexion products for this look, and then we'll move on and focus in on another product grouping in the next video. So in the 7 looks in 7 days, I hope to have the entire line somewhat explained, and then I'll go back and give you specifics on ingredients. I just don't want it to be super technical or super drawn on, because it's going to be so extensive as it is. So what I did for skincare, we're going to talk a little bit more about skincare and complexion. That's what I'm focusing on for today's video, along with doing a get ready with me look for the first photo shoot. So basically what I'm doing for moisturizers is I just came up with a couple to get us started. Obviously in future we'll be working on more stuff, but we need to at least have something, and I'll, you know, put up obviously on the website there's descriptions with details of each product. But we'll start with the Soothing Moisturizer. I love the product packaging because it's light and it's easy to carry. What I have to keep in my mind at all times when I'm selecting things out is to choose things that can double for makeup artists, because makeup artists have to carry things with them. I'm trying to use the majority of products to be very component oriented, where they fit into slots really easily, are lightweight, are easy to travel with, and maneuverable, but also look, you know, classy enough for you to carry in your line. Something that you feel comfortable carrying in your kit. And so bougie, heavy, you know, gold in trapped packaging with lizards coming off of it was not my goal. I was looking for simple, clean, sleek, easy to carry, attractive. That was sort of my method to my madness. So this packaging is very simple, sleek, easy, and it's pump driven, so you're not sticking your fingers in it and getting, you know, the products all mucked up throughout your entire usage. So the Soothing Moisturizer is just like your everyday moisturizer, used for normal skin for every day, and it is a really nice, you know, kind of feel. The smell is very clean. It's not fragrancy. I didn't want anything with a heavy fragrance because that adds to allergies and adds to sensitivity. So the Soothing Moisturizer is just a fantastic, you know, build upon moisturizer, and is not going to leave you feeling any greasiness or heaviness, just hydrated. Very, very hydrating. This is the one that I use for myself. This is the Extreme Moisture Blend. This is also, you know, lightweight to a degree, but I'll show you the difference between these two. Like this one has, you can see it's got a little bit more of a clear appearance. It's not as thick. This one is a little bit thicker and gives you more emulsification. So for me and my dry skin, I prefer using the Extreme Moisture Blend, but still, even still, does not feel greasy on the skin. I, you know, do a lot of that really heavy stuff at night, and during the day, I definitely, you know, prefer, and I can't believe how hydrated my skin feels with this as well. I mean, if you're looking for just a clean, good moisturizer that's gonna nail it for you, and you know, I use this around anywhere, even around my eyes. Has a nice clean feel, made here in Canada. It is just a phenomenal moisturizer, and if you guys are just looking for a good one that is not going to make you feel heavy, clog your pores, or anything like that, this one's amazing. So that's the moisturizer. So before we do my makeup, I'm going to apply the Mattifying Face Primer, and it comes clear like this in this, again, pump out. And when you're doing makeup on somebody, you want to make sure that you have a pump bottle, because you know you don't want your fingers going in there. So you guys can see I squirted it out. It's a clear-ish looking kind of gel substance, but does such an amazing job of making the skin prepared for the makeup, and it just goes on so smooth, and you could feel, you know, that extra bit of preparation on your skin when you're preparing to put your makeup on, and you're going to get such a beautiful finish with this primer. And yeah, I'm in love with this. I'm not even that big on using primers, but this one just preps it in such a way that makes my skin feel like ready to appreciate the makeup. And a lot of primers that I put on, I really don't notice any difference, and this one I do. So while we're running through these, I'll take you through the rest of them. And as I said, this is just a simple beginning to the skincare line. This is an antioxidant toner, and I like it because the colors really help me when I'm hurrying and doing makeup to give me a guide as to what product is what, because I don't know, maybe I'm very visual, but the colors really help me to understand what's what. And when you have so many products in similar bottles and I like to quickly and easily know the difference between. So I also love the fact that I don't have to dip and anything like that for toner. I mean, I can spray this toner on any time, but normally you do it after you wash your face. You can spray this onto a pad and do it that way. But the toner is really good for refreshing. It's really good for adjusting your pH balance to the degree that it can take off the extra makeup that you have if you're using a pad. And also a toner is just really good for refreshing your skin and bringing it back to life after a serious cleanse. I use this, to be honest with you, I usually just use this once a day. I use this at night after I wash my face, then I tone, then I moisturize, and I go through my whole routine. But you can use this more than once a day, no problem. I'm just probably a little lazier. Okay, so I just want to introduce you to the two setting sprays. We did two because one is more built for oilier skin. The needs for oily skin are so different than the needs for dry. So I went pink for dry. I'm wearing pink today. So this bottle is also pink, but it's a little bit darker, so I can kind of tell. This is the oil controlling setting spray. So after your makeup's complete, if you have oily skin, you would put this on. I don't have oily skin, but I certainly know a lot of the people that watch my videos do have oily skin, and you want to protect it from getting really oily after you put your makeup on. So this setting spray is killer, and I'll just, you know, spray it for you. This is a brand new one, and you could see 2 pumps and then it comes out, and the mist is super fine. So you're going to have a really, really easy time putting that on. But there's also a setting spray for us dry or regular faces. And again, this is a brand new bottle. Just squirted out 2 pumps. The pumps work really, really well. And after the makeup, we'll put this on, and it really helps to set the makeup, keep it in place, gets the chalky look off if you put too much powder. It's fantastic for all of that. But there's also, I'm just going to show you, there's this oil control setting spray as well, but we're playing with some of the packaging. It's the same product that's in the pink one, so ignore if you see different packaging, because again, we're working out the kinks. Like, it's still a brand new line. We're still deciding upon what works the best, what is the most comfortable to use. So if you guys see, you know, some very minute packaging shifts and things like that, that's going to happen the first year. I don't know a way around that, because some of the packaging I'm in love with, and some of it I already want to make little tweaks on. So just letting you guys know. So as I'm going along and as I'm working, you'll see me use this. This is going to be my brush cleaner. It is in the bright blue bottle, so I know what it is. And it kind of reminds me of a cleaner when it's in blue. And it is a really gentle brush cleaner. It's not super intense. And the reason I wanted something like that is because it doesn't have a smell on the brushes as I go along. And a lot of the brush cleaners, like even this one here I have from Liz Watte, which I love, it's really small out. Its smell is really strong alcohol smell. And I've got a little bit of a brush here to show you that's got a bit of stuff on it. And basically I just spray the brush cleaner on, swirl it around, and it's really good at removing the product. And then you certainly still want to wash and shampoo and condition in between, but nothing, I smell nothing. Because I found with a lot of the really strong brush cleaners, as I was working and I would spray it, people would be jolted by the strong alcohol smell spray when you were still continuing to work. But I needed something that would clean in between and be able to continue working, because you know, if you've got a color and you just want to take a little bit off, or you want to make a switch, or you've got too much gooped up on your brush, you have to have a brush cleaner so that you can get through your makeup. And last but not least is just a real simple and clean makeup remover. Again, just to give you guys a little look-see at it. It comes in this kind of top, and basically it's something that you're going to use with a pad and take off your makeup with it, and it's super, super effective. I love it. Doesn't irritate my eyes, and it's not oily in substance. I guess I should kind of show you guys that. It's not real oily. The ones that are really oily, if you're wearing contacts and stuff like that, it gets messed up. But this one dries down with no surface slip, has no real smell to it. I didn't want anything, again, super fragrancy, because that just irritates and makes me more allergic. So it's a nice, simple, clean makeup remover that I love. And I'll show you guys the use of this in future. I just don't have any makeup on to show you. Let's get into the complexion products. I know you guys are dying to see the makeup, so I'm going to roll into that as best and explain it as best as I can. Tomorrow, in tomorrow's look, I'll be going more into the face products. There's so many different, you know, face blushes, bronzers, products for that, but we will be doing a full face, so you'll see some of it today. But just in order to explain the complexion products, I just need to focus on that just because there's so much to explain. You guys know, if you've watched any of my videos, that the struggle is real for my under eyes. And one of my biggest videos has to do with, I basically took any color correctors I could find and compared them against each other. And I was looking for something that, you know, was the best suited for me. And I'm sure you guys are waiting to see what I came up with for concealer, because that is obviously my nemesis, is my under eyes. So basically what I have done is I have come up with a concealer that I feel is got amazing coverage, but also is forgiving for our under eyes, being mature women. At the same time, I also had to think about the makeup artist and wanting to make sure that they have what they need for their clients, because doing makeup on other people is a different animal. So in this line included is our color correctors, and I just wanted to show you some of them. So basically, for the kind of orangey toned color correctors, I've got two here. This is HC093, and all of the colors and things like that are online. You guys can take a look at them. And there's one that's slightly less intense of a color corrector, but this one is fairly intense. And there's this one as well, and I'll show that to you. I haven't started, this one's a new one. Okay, so you guys can see one is just a little bit bronzier, and this one is definitely a straight up cancel color. And I'll put a little bit on so you guys can see it underneath my eyes to give you guys an idea about the cancel out. But it was also suggested to me that yellow works really, really well, so I also have a yellow. So what I've been doing is basically both. I've been hitting it up with yellow and the orange, and the combination of the two has been pretty amazing. But understand that the formulation for this color corrector has been the same formulation as it is for the concealer. So you can see it's kind of got a really unusual effect. See how it cancels out the darkness. I haven't put actual concealer color down yet. Using the orange and the yellow combined really helps me with that. And you know, sometimes I go over it a couple times because I do have so much. You guys can see I've got both the orange and the yellow going. And you know, different days I'm in different moods and I'm going for different things. If I'm going for really bright under eyes, I do more of the yellow, and if I'm going for you know, kind of a really smooth all over look, not too highlight contoury, I just go more with the orange and vary it that way. You can use your finger, you can use a beauty blender, you can use anything you dog-well want. But it does an amazing job at color correcting, in my opinion. And just to let you know as well, the concealers also come in the doe foot style, because not everybody likes the pump out style. A lot of people like this. So when you see it, it's going to be the same formula, but in something that is a little bit more personalized. If you don't like this kind of container where it's a pump out, but it's amazing for makeup artists. I actually like the pump out for every day, because then I don't have to like twist anything off, I just squirt it. But just to let you know, when you find your concealer or corrector, they are in both formats for packaging, because I felt like, you know, there's different strokes for different folks. Everybody likes something slightly different. So we're going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and correct the other side so you guys can see that again. So we're going to take down, I'll put, you can do either order. You can go orange first. So I think I can't remember what I did. I think I did maybe yellow first on the other side. So you can do the orange first if you want to, and then the yellow, or reverse it. There's really no rhyme or reason, but it's pretty bright when you put it down on its own, so just be aware of that. If you don't have that darker circles, you might opt for something just a little bit softer. And I also want to show you guys this one. This one is more of a kind of peachy tone, and that might be an option for you as well. And this is in number HC 105. It's got a peshy tone to it, peachy tone, and also can work really well for canceling color. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to choose out your color corrector. And again, like, I'm mixing, so you can mix as well. So I'm just going to finish this side before it dries, because I'm talking through everything, but I wanted to show it to you. And as you guys can see, I'm layering this on, and it doesn't, it really blurs the lines. It doesn't add to your lines. It's unbelievable in terms of consistency and ability to not overly wrinkle underneath the eye. So let's just put the yellow on this side like we had before and get these little bad boys under control and cancel out some of that doggone darkness. So I like to just put it down, and then I like to put a little bit on my lid as well, because it's really quite brown, purpley brown on my eyelid, and I want to make sure that I've got that covered. There's so many products to show you guys. I'm a little overwhelmed myself to explain it all. It's just impossible to do in one go. There's so much to tell you. Okay, in terms of foundation, and this is everybody's nemesis. Everything about it is tricky and hard to find the right one, and we fall in and out of love. But what I came up with for foundation, there's there's more than one product actually. There's three. I wanted to show you two before I moved on from the concealer stuff. Is this palette here? It's a cream palette. Again, it's made to act as a corrector, and also can be used as a contour and concealer palette. It is thicker in consistency. It can be used under the eyes, it can be used anywhere, but if you're mature and you have a thicker product, sometimes that can make the wrinkles come out a little bit more. But if you are needing something like super thick and heavy, that for makeup artists is amazing, and I use this all the time as my contour and highlight palette. As well, it can be used as a corrector concealer. So it's kind of multi-purpose. It's got all the different correcting colors as well as highlight contour colors, so that it's multi-purpose and can be used on clients or yourself, either. All right, I do have a BB cream that I am carrying. I am just going to claim this to be more of a tinted moisturizer. It is not really for coverage. It's just kind of like, okay, a quick little hydration with a touch of tint to it, because there's a lot of people out there that just want like super light coverage that just gives you a swash. So it's got a nice translucent effect. It really does just wear as a veil, as a really light moisturizer. So if you're looking for a BB cream or a tinted moisturizer, I do carry them. I won't be using that for my photo shoot because I need more coverage than that, but it is really nice. It is lovely. But for foundation colors and tones and really getting into the full line, I definitely need the full foundation concept in order to achieve the looks that I gotta achieve with this. I'm gonna say that the star of the show of the line, I think, is going to end up being the Satin Foundation. It is unbelievably, I can't believe how good this came out. It's a pump out method because, again, I don't want people putting their fingers inside, especially if they're doing makeup on others, but it's also really easy when it's pump out. So basically the consistency of it is, I mean, for me, it's literally the best foundation I've ever tried, and I'm hoping others absolutely love it. The formulation is super creamy, but doesn't feel heavy. You guys know that I'm always after full coverage, but after the summer that I had, I'm finding myself leaning towards more of a medium to full coverage and dealing with some of my imperfections and freckles and things like that and enjoying them. But there are days when I want a full beat, and for that there's also the full coverage foundation. Again, you guys might see slight packaging shifts with some of these things. I might be switching to a different container for this, to a darker container, but we'll see what happens. We're working on that right now. There's going to be shifts and alterations as we grow and develop, but again, this is a pump and it comes out. I'll put it right up against the satin finish one so you guys can see it. It's a little bit thicker in consistency, but has killer coverage. Killer coverage if you're looking for a complete blank out. So instead of just showing you on my hand, I think a good idea of what I can do, and even though I'm photo shooting today, I can kind of fandangle and make up for things, is I'll show you the two on half and half of my face. I'm actually not even sure if I've got the right color here. I'll just double check. For tone, it's a little bit light, so let me just grab another one here and get something that's a little bit friendlier. Now for applying this, I like to use a damp sponge. See, I've got all kinds of tones here. There's an olive, more olive tone. It's a little bit too olive for me. This is actually a really good way to show you guys how to get the right foundation color, is just to kind of show you on my skin. So now we'll try this. Now, one of the things to watch for when you're trying to figure out your color is don't just streak it like what I did. You want to make sure that you drag it out and see it go into the skin, because once it goes invisible is really a better test to see what the right coverage is. I'm going to kind of move this around a little bit because I do have to photo shoot. I don't want it to be too ridiculous. So what do I like for a color here? I'm feeling like I don't have it, so I'm just going to go and grab a few more colors. Okay, we're going to give a try to this this color right here. The SKU is FH105, and I basically am going to just show you a little bit. I really did want more of a satin look for this, but I do want to show you what it looks like. Here it is. I've got my arms a little mucked up. Here it is on my hand, and I'll show you part of it with my brush, which is a foundation brush. It's a little bit more dense and unusual in shape that you might be used to, but I'll show you a little bit of the coverage of it just to give you a feel. You guys can see it's really, really good coverage, and honestly I can put this on with either the sponge or the brush, but if you want like serious coverage, serious heavy coverage, then using the brush is always a good way to go. But if you do want to use the sponge, that's the word I'm looking for, sponge, definitely you can. You just have to keep in mind that different strokes for different folks. All right, so I'm going to show you a little bit of this with a sponge. I'll just dabble it on. Now I bring this right underneath my eye because I find that this foundation is really amazing for coverage. And sometimes if you've got a rush and you want to just quickly go, you can use this. It can double as your concealer. It is that heavy of a coverage. So if you're looking for a way to not have to deal with concealer, use a full coverage foundation, and you can spot foundation wherever you want to and just cover up what you want to. And it also, you can see the coverage. It's really amazing. It doubles as a concealer. I'm not saying I'm not going to use concealer as well, but most women don't have dark circles the same kind of way that I do. But the finish of this, you don't need powder with it, but certainly can put it if you want to. But it leaves a finish that is more dried down, not cakey or yucky. It's skin-like to a degree, but not dewy. It doesn't have a dewy finish at all. It's just more of a matte finish, and that has its own needs and its own purposes. And for those of you that have a lot to cover and maybe you're oily, you would like this because it doesn't feel heavy, covers a lot, and is great with oils. So just keep that in mind if you need some full coverage, but not too sure what's going to work with your skin type. I just want to let you guys know there's a really nice range of foundation colors as well, and just for your FYI, and for your dark skin clients, I do have a really nice deepest of tone here that I think is really important to carry a nice range of skin tones. And so there's a good range with the full cover foundation, and I would say there's an even better range with the satins, because that's where I put most of my focus, as that is something that most of us tend to gravitate towards, is a satin type finish. So I ended up using the FH110. It is I think a fairly good match to my neck. It is not adding any color. You can see this looks a little bit darker on the face just because I walk a lot. I get a lot of sun on my face, but because I'm photo shooting today, I am trying to get it a little more of an even blend with my neck. And I can add in a little bit of color and bronzer and stuff like that later, but I really did want to just kind of give a good blend. So for me today, I'm at the 110, so for the full coverage. So let's choose the color for my satin foundation. Okay, I'm just going to take you guys along with me when I'm sampling some of the satin foundation. So The Satin Foundation comes like this. It comes in a glass bottle. It's a little more dressy looking, and it's very heavy in weight. It's got a frosted bottle. It looks beautiful on the counter. I want it to look nice but also be functional for makeup artists, so it's another pump out method. And you can see that it's very good for maneuverability. It dries down but not so fast that you don't have a chance to blend it, and it's just a beautiful texture. So when you're choosing out your color, and I've got a little bit of darkness here because of the I think for today I'm gonna go with the FK105, and that's the color I ended up choosing. It is a nice blend between sort of, it's got a touch of peach in there, but then some golden undertone, which I think is great. So basically I'm just going to put a little bit of this on. Woo, I've got quite a bit there. And I'll move this around a little bit with the brush. And you guys can see it also has medium to full buildable coverage, and I put that initial swatch really high up there. Anyway, with the brush it goes on again just a little bit denser, so it goes on and gives you a bit more coverage, which for me I love, but it does leave a little bit more of a satin skin-like finish than this. So I'm just going to put a fuller coverage of this everywhere. I like working myself. I like to work with the sponge because I like to do placement strategically, so I like to kind of dabble it on. So nervous because photo shooting myself, you know, I am not that comfortable with, but I have to do it. But like I said, the tones of the Satin Foundation, hopefully you can find what you need, but I certainly do not expect you to figure this out all on your own without a store, without a way to sample it. So you certainly are going to be able to connect with me, and I can do a consultation, and we can sit down in front of Zoom and I can help you figure out what you need. So if you're searching for a product and you need my help, I'm going to be putting together a little bit of a schedule so that you guys can access me, especially in the beginning when you're trying to figure out your colors and figure out what's going to work for you. Obviously this is an exceptionally long video because I've got so much to explain to you guys, but I just quickly wanted to show you as well that I did make sure that there was coverage for all skin tones, including darker skin. And I think I've come up with what I feel is a really good darkest foundation, and of course works its way down. So there are certainly colors for every skin tone in here, and nobody has to feel left out, which sucks when people or lines do that. So I have to have my mirror. I can't believe I'm matching all pink today. That's hilarious. So let's start with this concealer now. You guys are probably dying to see me use this. So I'm going to use the concealing cream. The color that I'm taking is it's Concealer Cream 105. Again, it's going to be the same formula that I use for my correctors, but now what we're doing is basically giving a proper conceal with the proper tone to my under eyes, and it is super layerable and very, very buildable. You can do a very light coverage for light to medium coverage, and you can see like it dries down on its own. You don't really need powder, but if you want powder, I'll be using powder because I'm photo shooting. But if you don't want powder, you really don't have to. But like it's got, I would say like a miracle cover to me. And I mean, I'm still going to play with different concealer formulations with the lab and see if there's anything else I can come up with that is revolutionary. But to me, for now, this is like a really good solution for my very, very, very severe dark under eye circles. It's got to be, to me, like the best. concealer ever. I just love it. And it also does amazing things for highlight contour if you want to. I'll show you that as well. So I'll put it on the other side so you guys can see. Again, like I have to use a little bit more because I'm photo shooting and because I am super dark, so I always put full amounts. But if you just want to like doop, doop, focus it in on the areas that you want. But I honestly am blown away by you know, the coverage I'm getting. The combination, of course, is there using the multiple products, but even just on its own, even if I'm just walking around, going for a walk or whatever, I want coverage, man. I want some coverage. And this does the trick. Whoop. So if you're going for the very, very lightest seal possible, there is the pressed translucence and of course also loose. I forgot to grab the loose. Let me grab the loose. There's a lot of powder formulations, you guys. There's a lot. So let me just walk you through the different ones. All right, so first we have obviously translucent powders. We have them in, you know, completely light colors, darker colors. I even have them in shimmer powders as well. And as we do more looks, I'll introduce you to more. But it obviously has a shakeout style lid that you can get your product out of. If you want to apply your powder, you can bounce it, you know, like your Laura Mercier's, bounce it in and just lightly put it into a moist sponge, and it will do the best job of not making your under eyes look wrinkly. If you want to just use the lightest amount of powder possible, try the translucent pressed. The translucent pressed is really great at just that, just like a very, very, very minute amount of powder, the least you can get away with. And you know, us with mature eyes, we're really worried about it. This here is a pressed foundation. So if you don't like liquids, you don't like to fool around with liquids, this will double as a foundation, and it's a powder foundation. You can put it on dry and it works fantastic. Dry, you can wet your sponge heavier and wipe this out and use this as a foundation as well. So depending on your preferences, one of my favorite formulas is this one here. This is the powder foundation formula that's a little bit different. It's a thicker formula and heavier formula, and I use this for super powered powdering. It is my favorite because it also is creamy. So whatever one works for you is great. And you know, in future I'll show you guys, but see, you can also do really simple and easy bakes with this, just wiping your sponge into it and creating a little bit of a bake underneath if you want to do that as well. I like the ease and the non-messiness of this. I love them. This powder foundation will give you medium coverage. This is your translucent loose, and this is your translucent pressed for just a light sealant. So between all of these, you should be able to find something that works for you. And you know, personal preference. You have to just get your fingers into it and trying it. And by having a consultation with you, we can talk it over and figure out what might work the best for you. I have not introduced you guys to all the brushes yet. I do have a full line of brushes. There's two packaged. There's a 18 brush set. There is a 7-piece brush set, and there's individual brushes as well. I'm going to have to do a video on all the brushes, just a video on its own, because there's just too many to explain out. But these are some of the best brushes that I've ever used. I just love the structure of them, or I wouldn't carry them, and they are amazing. So basically what I'm going to do is do a little bit of contour just to prepare for the photo shoot. So let's just take up a little bit of that. I'm going to take up a little bit of the darkest, and I'll